Hey everybody, I wanted to give an update on the framing that I've done. Kind of spent a bit of a marathon session today, finishing off the framing for the lower section of this part of the van and the lower section of the part of the van over here. Uh, Part of the considerations for this section were that we're doing bunk beds. So we don't have a single bed, which simplifies the problem quite a bit. Because we're doing bunk beds, one of which will go this way, across, and then the other one will go this way, lengthwise, so an L with this one being underneath. So I needed to make a support for the bed up here that goes across, and I needed to make a support down here for the bed that goes this way. So the other part that I had to consider was that the length or the width of the van is about 75 inches without any woodwork or anything in it. And because I bumped out the walls to be flush, that actually takes up quite a bit of space, which we lose in that width for the van, for the bed. So what I decided to do was to actually bump the wall back in for this section right here, and the same on the other side. So how I did that was I framed out the basic area of where the bed would be, and then I actually made these brackets that are basically an L, and those fit in right here, and then another one over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the siding will actually go flush against this pillar. I'll insulate behind it and probably stuff insulation inside this pillar, but that'll get me flush, which gets back about 2¼ inches, maybe 2½, depending on the thickness of material I choose to use for the walls. And that way I can actually get back a little bit of space, that horizontal space for the mattress and for the head. Down on the bottom bunk, what I had to do there was basically I wanted to make a ledge, and I needed to get the bed as low as possible so that there was space between this bed and this bed, including the depth of the mattress that we're going to put in, so which will be around 6 inches or so. So most of the pieces that I have in right now aren't secured, or a lot of them aren't secured, because I'm going to be taking all of them down. So all of the woodwork in this section, the front section, and then on this section over here, I'm going to take them all down now. I'm going to paint them with the mold and mildew resistant paint, and then I'll put them all back up, and I'll do the final installation. There's a few things like these little patches right here. That's mainly so that I've got a good solid thing to go against. I don't have any boards that are running from here to here that are bowing in. And it also gives me the ability to have something to nail into for basically framing out this little, I don't know what you call this little setback that I built on both sides. This side over here, basically the same layout as this one, minus this board, because the bed doesn't go across there, so we won't need that. And I wanted to keep it as simple as possible on this side. The only other thing that I did over here on this side was to add just a little bit of extra in for framing in for the kitchen cupboards. So I've got some good solid boards to go against that. But basically it's the same thing. So anyways, that's the update on these. Next step is to tear all this down, paint it, and then put it all back in. And then after that, the next step will be to start to insulate. And then once the insulation is done, then I can actually start wiring, which feels like a pretty big milestone to get to. So I'm hoping within the next couple days, I'm actually going to get to the point of actually getting all the insulation in. So that's the update for right now. Anyways, thanks a lot.